Hi everyone, welcome to the channel, Whittle with Rick. Today we're going to be carving a measuring spoon from this piece of walnut. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, give it a like, and leave a comment down below on what you'd like to see me carve next. Thanks for watching. I just wanted to mention this saw that I'm using here. This was actually my great granddad's saw. That's why it looks so old, it looks very vintage. I'm not too sure the name of the saw, but if you do know, can you leave me a comment down below? Just tell me what the name of the saw is and what you know about it. Thanks. When I'm doing these small cuts down from the bowl of the spoon onto the handle and where it meets in the middle here, what's so important, because you're putting so much pressure on the knife and then getting into that corner to make the cut. But see, it's very important to have a very sharp knife, which always helps, but I always put my hand holding the spoon, that thumb on the knife, so when I come down into the corner, if I was holding it like this and just cutting down into the corner with all that pressure, I'm going to, if I do slip, I'm going to slip and cut myself. But I put the thumb there and coming down into the corner, so I'm not going to slip, because that thumb is holding the knife in place. And as you can see, if I'm holding the thumb there with my grip, the furthest the knife's going to go is here, and I'm not going to push that hard, you know, back on my thumb to cut myself. That's why I always find that little tip of putting your thumb against the knife there and making that cut, those small cuts, obviously as safe as possible, but controlling the knife as well. I'm coming close now, taking off as much as I can, obviously to come in to meet the stencil I've made for the guide of the measuring spoon. As I'm going through, I'm always making sure I'm sticking to the pencil mark that I've put on. Nearly close to it now, and as you can see, if that's squared up, you know, taking off as much material as probably I need to now, and now I can start shaping this handle. Not too sure what I'm going to do yet. It's not going to be, definitely not as thin as the measuring spoon that I've got traced for reference, but you know, quite like something quite chunky, you know, it's substantial. So we still got, you know, a lot of wood there, which will look nice. And just going to shape this bowl down here and hopefully get a bit deeper, because the tool, just this basic tool I've got here, this hook knife, don't know whether you can see that, but if I did try and go down any deeper, it's going to cut into the edge of the spoon here, and I haven't got much material to play with anyway. So I'm just going to have to sand this out a bit. I mean, in regards to this reference, as it fits in there, it's going to have to go, I don't know, quite a bit deeper. But we'll see what we'll turn out with. Anyway, just to speak about these knives actually, and obviously this channel and what I want to do with this channel is obviously show my carvings as a complete beginner. I was bought this set, I think not last Christmas, Christmas before, by my partner. Most expensive knives that you can get out there, but obviously, you know, you can see what you can produce, but it's a great beginning, you know, tools that you can start with, and you can sharpen them up good. But obviously the more expensive knives, they're going to keep their edge. Just want to share that, you know, you don't have to spend an absolute fortune on equipment to enjoy whittling and to get into it. The wood that I've sourced is foraged, so it is quite, you know, it's quite cheap, enjoyable. I find it really relaxing. I just wanted to, you know, share my journey in my whittling. Obviously, as you can see, I'm not using a stencil. I just like to freehand everything, to be honest, and I'm lazy, so yeah, just freehand it. See how it turns out. Don't know whether you can see here, having quite a lot of tear out. When I'm coming in from this side, it gets to about this point here, and then it's starting to tear out into the cut quite nicely. So I'm going to have to go back the opposite direction to make sure I'm getting a good cut and not splintering the wood. Obviously, as it's quite a small spoon and there's not much material here, you don't want it to split and then go right the way along. Obviously mess up all the hard work you've done. So I've taken that out there. I need to take a bit more off, to be honest, just as part of the spoon, and then I'll be on to finishing around the bottom of the bowl here, and then maybe a bit coming up a bit more at the back, and then finishing it off. Oh yeah, I need to take a bit more out of the bowl here as well. So I've managed to carve out more of the bowl, take it down to a bit lower, more depth, taking it slowly in around the sides of the bowl. Still need to go because this is quite thick, to be honest. I don't know how much you can see from there. It's still quite thick, but yeah. And then I'm going to take the handle, probably going to just go all the way up, so taking all this bottom section off, and then keeping this nice and flat, as it's going to be a measuring spoon, like a teaspoon. Yeah, and then finish it off, tiniest bit of sanding. Obviously I'm still going to take a bit off around there. Yeah, tiniest bit of sanding, keeping that to a minimum really, and then burnishing with the rock that you've seen in the other video. So burnishing with this rock, just nice smooth rock, and then burnishing it to finish. It's going to be quite difficult to burnish in there. Hopefully I've got a smaller rock to get at that. But yeah. Due to the different type of wood I'm using this time. Oh, that's terrible, look at that. Due to the different type of wood I'm using this time, through out like that, I'm making sure I'm stropping the knife to keep it as sharp as possible, to limit. And like the grain structure in this is all over. I don't know whether you can pick that up on the camera. You see how it's going this way, and then some's coming down here, and there's kind of meat here. So as I'm cutting, it starts to get a tear out or start to splinter, and then I go back the opposite way to kind of fetch that out. So it's a nice smooth cut, just like that. Time for burnishing. you can see, but don't really use this flat bit. I'm using the corners. You can see how that corner is like not ground down, but got so smooth, and they're probably natural oils from some of the woods that I have used. I've rubbed off on it, so I'm using that corner there, pressing firmly, not too hard, but you can already see, I don't know if you can see that sheen there on the wood. Yeah, because I've just sanded, and most of it's quite matte, not got really a sheen on it. I've started here. Yeah, looks nice. I think this rock is a bit too big, to be honest, but it's the only one I've got at the moment. Now the term burnishing does originate from Old French word burnir. I don't know whether I'm pronouncing that correctly, meaning to make brown or to polish, which itself comes from the medieval Latin burnir. Again, I don't know whether the pronunciation on that is correct, meaning to polish or to make shine. The root of these words, brunus, refers to brown or glossy finish, indicating the polished or the gleaming effect associated with this process. Burnishing has been around for centuries. This is to describe the process of smoothing and polishing surfaces, particularly metals, leather and ceramics, and is commonly associated with metalsmithing, but obviously woodwork as well. So yeah, and there we have it. I think I've finished. So I finished with the burnishing, and as you can see, definitely say that's brown and glossy, don't you? I did manage to get the rock in and burnish the inside. It's looking really nice. It's turned out pretty well. I haven't made a spoon like this in a long time, and probably this is my best one, to be honest. Very smooth, shiny. Yeah. Thanks very much for watching, and please like and subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment down below on what you want me to try and carve next time. Thanks very much. Ta-ra.